What it do, flight crew? FTC. Flight team stand up. I still ain't sober. It is now October. We got some so fresh, so clean, controversial-ish. Hey, bro, this NBA scandal stuff with the rotisserie chicken dude and Chauncey Billups has actually apparently gotten worse. Bro, I've been hearing rumors around the league-ish. Apparently, like, it could get so bad that Adam Silver might just step down because it's just like, bro, he don't even want to deal with that. But I honestly doubt that, bro. For a commissioner to step down in the middle of an NBA season, y'all got to realize, like, how deep and big that is. Like, that, I don't think that's ever happened before, if I'm not mistaken, right? Maybe like when the NBA first started in like the 20s or something like that, maybe. But shit, recently, I don't know. We got AM Hoops. The betting scandal just got 10 times worse.
Scandal is why would
Let's
a
check it
guy
out.
make $24 million a year risk it all for some tiny prop bet payoff? Cause we thought guys like Terry Rozier were supposed to be immune to this kind of stuff. Well, we just learned what caused him to do this. But what the NBA did after finding out may be just as bad. And if true, this makes them look 10 times worse than they already do. But first, back to Rozier. We kind of get why a guy like Jonte Porter would do this. He was making $400K a year, so some shady guy offers a payday. Okay, maybe. But Terry Rozier, how could this happen? Well, the FBI just told us who his partner in crime was. But I am taking today's sponsor, Viore, out into the real world, because I know it looks on Viore. It's also a close name for me, and thanks again to Viore. The man's name was Deniro Laster, a close childhood friend of Rozier. They grew up playing sports together in high school. So this dude comes to Rozier and asks for a favor. Yo, if you can hook me up with any kind of info, a guy just called me saying he'd give me $100,000. And Terry was probably like, all right, yeah, I can hook you up. He figured, yo, it's late March, couple games of the season, we're not in the playoffs. What's one fake injury? I can hook up my childhood best friend with $100,000 if I do this one time.
Bro, like, if that's true, rotisserie chicken, bro, that's just like a L, bro. You know what I'm saying? You should have been cut that dude off. Like, what are you, a sugar dad or something like that? Like, no offense to you. You feel me? Like, like that ass. Like, and you know the cool part about that? If he's doing that for $100K, like, imagine the stuff that I'm assuming that rotisserie chicken dude is actually like which doesn't necessarily mean if you give away or look out for somebody, like if they're in need, like, you know what I'm saying, like right whenever they need it or what. It doesn't make you a good or bad person. It's just whether, you know, if you feel it, that would, you know what I'm saying, help them out. It's just all in your morals at the end of the day. Okay, basically, imagine the times, I'm pretty sure, with him having a friend that is in the NBA, rotisserie chicken, who I'm talking towards, I'm pretty sure that friend has been helped out by rotisserie chicken many a times. All right. And he probably got to a point like, damn, bro, I don't want to keep having to rely off my homie and stuff like that. Let me see if I can try and build up my business or whatever, and try and maybe build up like some parlay system or something like that. That's what I'm kind of getting to, like the guess where this is possibly, you know what I'm saying, can go. Yo, you should have been cut that off, rotisserie, man. Damn, bro. It always be the closest to you. Bring you down.
Because he did it, and then that friend Deniro Laster gave the info to a man named Marvis Faley, a shady gambler. Why do you think he was willing to pay $100,000? It set off a network of illegal gambling all across the country. Shane Hannon, for example, $61,200 on Rozier unders. Co-conspirator 2, $107K. Timothy McCormack and Long Fee Fam, $41K. Co-conspirator 3, $20K. 4, $17K. Number 5, $12.5K. Then 2 guys under $4K each. So little did Rozier know, but he told his childhood friend that spread made it so easy to catch. I mean, $200K getting bet on a Thursday Hornets game? How up?
To be honest with you, bro, I honestly feel like which wouldn't be impossible. This stuff has been, let's be real, this has been going on for, I'm going to assume, as long as, you know, betting and whatever when it comes to pro sports especially has been around. It has to have been, bro. They just happen to have found out, or they just made it too obvious. It's nothing else different than somebody, like, let's say, cheating off of a test in school, and they marked all the multiple choice answers the exact way, word by word, of what the person they're sitting next to, and doesn't purposely get like 1 or 2 or 3 answers wrong. You know what I'm saying? Or mix around like some of the answers or whatever to not make it so obvious. Like, bro, right now, NBA players are doing this before this. There's NBA games going on tonight. There's a few NBA players around the league that's doing the same thing that Rotisserie Chicken and Chauncey Billups is doing. They just haven't got caught or are being a lot more slick with it. This is always going to continue to go around. The only way for this to be 100% like put to a stop is if they ban betting in all professional sports. And let's be honest, that's never going to happen because there's a corporate that's making their own money under the table or making their own money on just like some casual, you know what I'm saying, side bets or whatever, or just as an extra hustle or whatever outside of their, you know what I'm saying, job or whatever. So this stuff's not going to stop anytime soon. So here's the thing with this. If they're going to sit up here and try and get the FBI in towards or being involved or whatever with the NBA, are they going to make this a consistent thing, or are they going to continue to just do this like once every like 5 years and just get some unlucky, you know what I'm saying, like dummies that just don't know how to make it not so obvious and stuff? You know, so that's where it really boils down to.
And how much money did they actually make? Well, I've seen articles online saying things like, this is the exact moment Terry Rozier threw a game for $200K. He didn't make
it. And the funny thing is, I've been seeing that a lot on Twitter with that, because we actually seen it the last time we streamed. With that being said, yo, this is probably the worst when it comes to just like NBA season to have a bad game in. I know if you guys have been seeing like them crazy memes that they've been making of NBA players like D'Lo and stuff like that. He had like a 1, 2, 3 performance. They've been making him have like a Michael Jackson meme and shit on TikTok. Bro, now when players have a bad game, the new thing is niggas gonna be inspecting to see if they sold on purpose for the parlay, bro. Nobody's gonna be safe.
$200K. That is such lazy reporting. There's been so much bad reporting on this story, it's insane. What they misread was that $200,000 was bet on the unders. Rozier didn't make $200,000. How much did De Niro Laster actually get paid? Remember, he was promised $100K, right? It was less than that. The FBI said tens of thousands of dollars, probably about $20K. So he drives it to Rozier's house, counts out the money. I don't even know if Rozier took any of that. He was probably like, nah, man, you can keep it. But that is how a man making $24 million gets wrapped up in something like this. Wow. And how other guys in his position could also, too. That'd
actually be, like, you know what I'm saying, bad if he actually didn't genuinely just bet shit and it was just his homie just helping running that rink.
A lot of friends from back home. But Rozier is a terrible warning, too. His entire life could be ruined from one bad decision. Some people say he played bad in other games. No, there was one game here. No other betting irregularities, no investigation, nothing shady. This should be a warning to other players. If you do this once, it could blow up in your face, ruin your career, land you in jail. Can you believe Rozier was cuffed at the wrists and the ankles and had to put his house up for collateral on bail over one game? But for as bad as that is,
there's people that actually do worse crimes and don't even be treated like that, unfortunately.
What the NBA did next might be
cuff from the ankles and the hand is insane.
On that level.
If that was actually
true, Adam Silver could be in huge trouble. Now, there's a conspiracy element to this, so stick with me. It starts January 20th, 2025, the first day that we learned that Rozier was in trouble. The league said, hey, in March 2023, the NBA was alerted to unusual betting activity related to Terry Rozier. We conducted an investigation and did not find a violation of NBA rules, but we are now aware of an investigation by the U.S. Attorney's Office and have been cooperating with that investigation. So basically, like, hey, you're about to hear that the feds are investigating Terry Rozier. We already knew about that, just letting you know. Well, why didn't you tell us? They kept it under wraps for 22 months. In fact, Rozier faked that injury in that March 23 game. Here's Terry coming off a screen.
That's crazy. I remember we looked at that.
Oh, then all of a sudden he feels his ankle, leaves the game, no limp, but sportsbooks alerted the NBA within hours of this, okay? Hey, bunch of Rozier prop bets on a Thursday Hornets game. Might want to check that out. So the NBA pulls Rozier the rest of the season. Now, granted, there were just 8 games left, but it wasn't for that injury. That was fake. This was an NBA investigation, so they knew and said nothing. Now, I do kind of get not telling the public, because just in case it is totally false, you don't want to ruin Terry's reputation the rest of his life. But they then allowed him to get traded to the Miami Heat. With this
they try to sweep it under the rug basically until the FBI got involved.
Do you know how pissed I would be as the Miami Heat GM or a fan? Dude investigated for illegal gambling and you don't tell us? Now, Silver has been asked about this.
Team like the Heat, they ain't happy about that.
The NBA doesn't have subpoena power. They cannot threaten to throw people in jail. All they could do was look at Terry's phone, talk to him, so all clear. If he ends up guilty, well, hey, they did everything they could do. But not telling the Heat about this is weird. Why? Well, it looks like Silver may have covered up the scandal temporarily to protect the league. Yeah, people see how he reacted to the Kawhi news, nonchalant.
Can this mean, maybe I may be overthinking, you remember when the NBA had the lockout or whatever? Not the quarantine one. I'm talking about like, it was like 2011, 2012, and it was like only 60 games in the season. And I believe, I'm not mistaken, they had another NBA lockout in like the late 90s too, where it was like less NBA games in the season. Bro, can this really be a bigger thing than what we're like really sleeping on? Like, bro, imagine we wake up in like January 2026 and they just say the NBA shut down and we'll figure it out and until further notice. Nigga.
What won't don't this guy cover up? All he cares about is making money for the NBA.
And please don't let that be a clip I happen to tell in the future that happens. Like, bro.
Yeah. Oh, actually, turns out the NBA found out about the Rozier thing March 23. Then announces the new media rights deal July 2024. Whole time said nothing, kept that in the dark. Why? I could just see this coming across Adam Silver's desk, and he's like, yo, this cannot come out right now, okay? We're about to sign for $75 billion. Now, of course, I cannot prove any of this motive. All we have here are the facts and the timeline.
Hey, AM Hoops, you better be careful, boy. Hey, that's $75 billion or million, whatever it said. Hey, Silver got them black trucks like LBJ. You better be careful, bro.
But you know who does care is the Miami Heat. Could they get that trade?
Hey, so if we don't see AM Hoops post after a week after this video, bro, we know what happened, man. I'm just saying.
Rozier has been terrible for them. In fact, he's so bad that in game 1 he was available to play, but not in the rotation because he's that bad. But could they get salary cap relief? Maybe that's one thing, but really if I was them, I would care about the pick. They traded a first-round pick to Charlotte. Fired Miami doing everything to get that back. But there's one other thing that we just learned about the Mafia poker games too. So the FBI says that Chauncey Billups lured rich people in to rigged games to steal their money. But the Mafia is down so bad if the best celeb they can get for their rigged poker game is Chauncey Billups. No way Scorsese can make an interesting movie about this. Damn. But maybe not. Pablo
now, why are you trying to play Billups like he ain't, bro? He is a mainstream early 2000s NBA legend. What are we doing? Covering NBA ballers, not just one, but the second one as well. You know what I'm saying? Detroit Pistons legend. Why they playing Mr. Big Shot like that, man?
Also played in one of these games. Man. A number of former pro athletes, in fact.
Players like Billups would have ran a lot of these point guards out the league, nigga. Do we got to start introducing him into the early 2000s lingo? Fuck.
Sorry, if that is true, no way Kevin Garnett, who made over $300 million, knew this game was rigged. Involved with the Mafia. The FBI says, in total, these games stole about $7 million. What is KG gonna care about that? And if he didn't know, maybe Chauncey didn't know either. And I'm sorry, if Chauncey Billups is innocent, his real crime here was giving info to Damon Jones. And really, that's the only new thing that we found out in this whole big FBI press conference. Damon Jones, a former assistant coach, was selling inside info. We already knew about Terry Rozier. Either way, this is a terrible look for the NBA. People already thought games were rigged, and now this? Adam Silver needs to do something before another scandal is even worse. But the actual basketball has been amazing so far. One of the best starts to a season I can remember in a long time. Rockets game 1 was great, but it did expose a serious flaw for Houston. Even with KD, one thing holds them back unless they make another massive trade.
All right, y'all, man. What do y'all think about everything, bro? Do you think the NBA is going to get into some deeper ish between now and the rest of the season, or the stuff's just going to be swept under the rug?